Was he surprised when in 2 months he learned that lady got better, was able to get up from the bed and start losing weight, and her condition improved. When I met her, she was a very thin, nice, beautiful old lady, healthy and everything. That's an urban legend, but I saw her. So, quietness, like nothing moves. Even the belly, you don't see how it moves. When you breathe properly, relaxed, even the belly, you don't see movement of the belly. In the first stages when you're practicing, you actually can feel the movement of the belly. And facial expression is happy, relaxed, smile, yeah? Lately was an article from the sport medicine, there is sport medicine which is studying the extreme conditions, right? And they said that if you smile, your overall endurance increase from 8 to 12% if you smile, simple smile. But why? Because your breathing pattern will be different when you smile. Also, whatever I will teach you is not exactly classical teaching delivered by Dr. Buteyko, because there was not a lot of knowledge about this technique. He just discovered it and he practiced it himself. And I have also reason to believe that Dr. Buteyko was a breatharian. I followed him for 3 days, and in 3 days he ate about half a cup of chopped onions, 1 cup of squares of watermelon, and water in 3 days. He also lived on minerals. He invented himself a mineral concoction of the dry powder. He would put that in a hot water. I approximately know what it is. It's different salts of different minerals. And that's what he lived on. He didn't eat in conventional eating. I have reason to believe that he didn't eat at all, but I cannot prove it. But I observed him during 3 days closely all the time, and that's what he ate in 3 days. Half a cup of chopped onion and a cup of cubes of watermelon. This is it. And he was functioning, full of energy, delivering lectures, going around, taking patients, participating in discussions and all that. We met him in the airport, and his flight from Siberia was delayed, so he actually ended up spending in the airports about 18 hours instead of 7 or something. And instead of coming in the evening, he came like 4:30 in the morning. So we asked him, Dr. Buteyko, like, what should we postpone people, like morning lecture, should we cancel it? Meaning that he is tired now after this long flight. And he looked at us plainly and said, I'm ready, where is people? He didn't care about these things because he lived on a different level, right? He said, I'm ready, where is people? I said, no, we've been morning lecture in like 4 hours. No, don't cancel it. And he delivered it, like a 2 hours lecture, no problem. Okay? Okay, that's for tomorrow. Actually, no. This is one of the classical things he developed for his technique. It's called the rule of the left hand. Slowly reduce volume of the intensity of breathing by relaxing diaphragm until slight shortage of breath. So, until slight oxygen deprivation. So, the purpose of the exercise, and now we will do the exercise after my explanation, is to create a constant, slight, very slight shortage of the oxygen, shortage of breathing. Why it should be very slight? Because the breathing mechanics is very ancient. It's based in the very old, deep levels of brain. Any push on it would result in backfire. It will do opposite of what you wanted from it. So what this technique does is actually does the hardening. You know what's the hardening, right? When you, for example, do the cold water dips, right? It's hardening. You loading your body with the stress to a certain degree, and that's giving the body the ability to withstand other things. It's called hardening. So this technique is also training technique. It's hardening technique. It's teaching the body and the person to get used to higher level of carbon dioxide in the blood. And the first reaction is that I don't have enough breath, because it's a feeling that you're short of breath. because apparently, physiologically, the next breathing act happened not because of the shortage of the oxygen, as everybody would think, right? But the next breathing after the first is concluded, the next one after pause, getting activated by the quantity of carbon dioxide. When it's growing, it's activating next breath. So, you would experience this slight shortage of air, and that's what it's supposed to be. The exercise usually run no less than 15 minutes, and there is no big sense of prolonging it more than 45-40 minutes. After 40 minutes, you will feel that the body is finally used to that new level of carbon dioxide and get relaxed. And it's a definite feeling, you will know that it's now done. After it's done, you can discontinue the exercise because you reach new level, you taught the body that it's acceptable, it's okay, it's good, you're not dying, there's a lot of oxygen, and the body will learn it. So if you practice, for example, twice a day, morning practice is very important because physiologically in the morning the breathing is deeper than in the evening. If you do it twice a day, half an hour, 40 minutes, that's already good enough. You already will see the difference. You also, in this technique, we also practice the holding of breath, withholding of breathing. When you stop breathing and you just sit until the next normal desire to breathe in would come. This is very important second part of this technique because you're getting that level of carbon dioxide higher of these two things. Of the slight shortage of breathing, which you're achieving by stopping the breathing in the end a little bit prematurely. You're breathing in, you're almost done, but you stop a little bit earlier than normally it would happen. Then will be a pause between the breathing, and you'll also increase about 3% that pause a little bit. Then it would physiologically be normal for you, right? If this combined with the withholding of the breathing and holding of the breathing for a minute or whatever, then this together would create a new level of tolerance to carbon dioxide, and your body will start healing process, self-healing process. Now about self-healing process. As we discussed, the cell would protect itself from the excessive oxygen by creating mucus around it, right? And in the bloodstream, it would put the cholesterol on the vessels, on the walls of the vessels to make them narrower, to get less stream of the blood, and that prevent the oxygen from coming, right? So when you start practicing, all these things would not be needed. Your body will not need any more those natural protective things, which medical science considers diseaseful things, but everything have two sides. Yes, this is a sign of disease, but on the other side, it is a sign that the body will try to protect itself from the excessive oxygen. So all these things will start coming out. You will have a crisis. When you will practice, you will have crisis. You will have kind of disease-like condition, kind of like a flu-like condition, when all this mucus and all this cholesterol will start coming out of the body. So it is possible that you would have diarrhea for half a day, or maybe two, different cases, different people. But all these things will start coming out in kind of dramatic ways, and people getting scared. It's called a cleansing crisis. Okay? We had one old man who came into our group. Our group was very dramatic because the premises was rented in the hospital. And one man came from the emergency ward, from the intensive therapy with the IV still connected. He came with the IV thing rolled in, and he never came back to the hospital after first exercise, after first day. He never went back. That was quite dramatic. So this is all the gentleman. He is asking the instructor, "Oh, I had a diarrhea, and after diarrhea I had a discharge of some white substance from my bottom part. And what is this?" And the instructor said, well, can you collect that substance and give it to the lab? We will just, there's a lab right there across the hallway, we just give it to them and ask them, what is this? So he collected that substance and gave it to the lab, and next day the answer from the lab came, where you got that much cholesterol, clear cholesterol, where you got it?
Oh. Amazing.
Okay, so that's how this cleansing crisis is, how dramatic they can be. Also, the reason I'm not teaching the straight classical technique by Dr. Buteyko is that, unfortunately, during all these years, the core message of the Dr. Buteyko's technique was missed. And the core message is this, because everybody was concentrating on breathing techniques and how to do it properly, how to do properly stoppage, how to measure it. There's a lot of things. And these things overwhelmed the movement, and it became breathing-oriented kind of. And it missed the main message. The main message from Dr. Buteyko was that all these diseases, including the disease of overbreathing, is the result of the greediness. Greediness. He was straightforward, teach every person that you should not be greedy. Do not gulp in the air. Do not greedily gulp in the air. Intake it by small quantities, little by little, very gently. Do not be greedy. He would teach everyone. That message was missed. So his teaching is primarily moral teaching, because in his lectures he would underline that our civilization took the twist of development, extreme greediness. We want more of everything. We want more of food, more of sex, more of entertainment, more of screens, more of information, more of leisure time. So we want everything more, but we don't want more work or more hardening or more exercise. We don't want that. We want to be very soft, like a gel-like, and sit in front of the screen and enjoy whatever they're showing us on the screen. So that was his primary message, that the reason for this disease is that the civilization took a wrong twist, it took a wrong sideline of greediness. And that was his main core message, which got missed. Okay? Like, think about it. If you got sick, what's your first thought? What kind of remedy I need? Do I need to visit a doctor? So the first thought always to add more to what you already have in order to help your travel. Okay? And Dr. Buteyko's message was, you need less. In order to get healed, you need less. You don't need more proteins, you don't need more vitamins, you don't need more remedies, you don't need more visit to doctors. You need less of all of that. You need more hardening, more exercise. Yes, he taught that. And that message also got missed for some reason. The second part, which we will attend tomorrow, is that after Dr. Buteyko was gone, the movement developed a lot of the support devices which you can use to practice this breathing, and they greatly reduced the need of personal investment into it, because they do everything for you automatically. It's the so-called anyway, I don't know how they call it in English, but these devices, when connected to your breathing system, they would automatically increase the quantity of carbon dioxide in the mixture of the air you're using. And so they would do the exercise for you practically. Dr. Buteyko was against those devices, but the experience showing that they actually help. If properly used, they do help, because people see the results faster, and they're not getting discouraged as though they stay on the program, right? Because in the Dr. Buteyko classical system, was a lot of people were dropping off because it was too hard. It was very hard, especially certain levels of carbon dioxide. To reach it in the blood very hard, because it's not easy. You have to do a lot of stuff. You have to take an effort. So tomorrow I'll introduce you to those devices, and we will learn more in details about the exercise. Now, tomorrow we also will learn about the so-called classical Dr. Buteyko table of breathing. This is something he developed during his result of his studies of the breathing system. It's not exactly perfectly scientific, but it's practical. He developed two tests for the breathing. The first test he developed so-called control pause. Control pause when you sitting normally in a relaxed situation at least an hour before or after food, so in between food, you withholding your breathing until the first light discomfort. It's kind of not very scientific because the definition of the light discomfort for every person would be different, but nevertheless that control pause, because it's so simple, is still used in the courses of teaching. And we will do now the control pause. So each of us will, in the normal breathing, without over-breathing before the test, will withhold the breathing until the first discomfort, and that will be the control pause. Okay? Do you understand the task?
Yeah, so I understand that I need to take...
On the exhalation?
On the exhalation.
On
So
the
after the
exhalation.
exhale, you take a pause.
So you want me to take a few natural breaths and then hold it?
Yeah, after inhaling, you just hold it until the first discomfort.
Were you gonna tell when?
Exhaling, oh, I'm sorry, I'm just confused. After I'm exhaling?
After
You're holding
exhale.
it on the exhale,
Secondly
not the
check.
inhale.
actually.
Okay, okay.
Okay?
Secondly check.
Alright. You tell me when you start that I can press it.
So we can
So I'm going to take a few breaths and then pause.
Yeah, just make me sign with your arm and I'll press the thing. Try to relax as much as possible. Get comfortable, relax your face, all muscles, and diaphragm. This breathing is achieved by the relaxing of the diaphragm, the big muscle which is holding your things in the middle of here, inside. And then do again the same gesture when you're done, when you start breathing again.
So I felt comfortable to hold it.
Yeah,
I could
Yeah.
more, but
28. That's a not bad result actually. Okay, the same thing. Make me a gesture when you start and then gesture when you stop.
So Dr. Ted, what is really important that you hold until you feel comfortable, because
Yes,
someone
until the
explained me, like,
first more or less discomfort will feel.
yeah, because I've been taught upper like you have to force it and just
That's
hold it.
different. There's technique like that. That's a different.
Thank
That's
you.
not a control pause. That's a maximum pause.
Got
Should
it.
I take regular breaths or deep breaths?
No, just regular breaths. Just relax. The trick to this is to be relaxed as much as possible. 19. Maybe 18. You made kind of uncertain gesture. 15. So you understand, the longer the past, the healthier the person, right? $22.